Hello and welcome to the Business End Podcast Esports Edition. And I'm your host, Drake Rogut, the American. And all around me are also more Americans. So for all of you European viewers, I apologize for the accents this edition of the podcast. We're going to just quickly introduce ourselves and explain who we are and why we're here today. Most of them will probably just say because I dragged them in here, but I mean, that's not a lie. All right, so Ethan, you can take it away.
Okay, so my name's Ethan Kandra. I play League of Legends, same as everyone here, and I'm here because I'm helping a friend out, and I thought it'd be fun, so we'll see where it goes.
Hi, I'm Drake Rogut. As I said earlier, I'm here to talk about League of Legends and esports, and just kind of give the audience a little bit of esports content and something that they can listen to, and hopefully they'll enjoy. I'm more specialized in League of Legends than any other esport. I think that goes for everybody else here, but we might touch on other esports, and we'll be touching on the current state of the game with League of Legends and the esports scene throughout the podcast. Okay, Wyatt, it's your turn.
Hi, I'm Wyatt Grimm. I've been playing League since about Season 4, and I focus on Call of Duty, League of Legends, and I'm here because Soul said 1 o'clock, and I'm here.
On time, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
All right, I guess it's my turn now, I suppose.
I would assume.
I'm Carlos Mendez. I mostly play League, Jungle. Don't really pride towards any of the game. Like, it's probably the best game out there right now. That's about it. I'm only here because Drake needs the help, so, help him out with the correct takes on everything.
Thanks, Carlos. Very nice. Okay, so yeah, that's just a quick intro to who we all are, and obviously we're all American, so this will be a little bit biased, I guess, towards like what we see as Americans. But I am in England currently, despite where these three reside. But yeah, just saying that, I guess. So I guess the first topic that comes to mind is talking about World Finals. Ethan, you were there for, I think, just the first two games, right?
Just the first one.
Just the first game.
First
okay,
one,
Ethan
yeah.
fell asleep after the first game.
Yeah.
In his defense, the first one was a little boring, but the rest of them were bangers. I enjoyed myself. I thought the stories were really cool behind like Suning and Domlin, just why they were in the positions they were and what they were fighting for. Like with Domlin, they were fighting to finally take back the trophy for Korea after 3 years, I think, even though Korea was like for so long just the strongest region in the world, and they really had to like prove themselves for the sake of Korea. And then I thought that the narrative that Suning was taking as well, was carrying as well, was kind of crazy as well. Fuck, I said as well so many times, guys.
It's okay, little buddy.
All right, you know what? Somebody else talk. I'll go on about Suning later. Carlos, you can talk about Domlin, I guess. You like them a little bit.
Yeah, it's your little
look.
fanboy.
I'm not a little fanboy, okay? Dom1 was just a superior team. It's like a G2 version, but for LCK. Okay? Suning had no chance.
No chance?
First game, I predicted the whole game to go 3-0 to Dom1. But surprisingly, Suning actually pulled out a game, which, I mean,
Props
to me was a little bit surprising. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like everyone performed well, except for, everyone performed exceptionally well. I feel like the only time Showmaker was really the star of the show was probably during Game 1, when he was just getting nutty combos and shit. But other than that, I think it was just overall just better team, honestly. End of the day. But yeah.
I mean, Ethan was the only one to predict the correct score lines, right? He said 3-1.
True.
No. He said 3-0, 3-1.
So, I mean,
technically, he's evened out, okay?
I think I said 3-2 in favor of Suning. I was voting with my heart. I was voting with my heart, not my head, in my defense. I think we could all see that Domlin was definitely the superior team in the matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, they fucking crushed LCK. the entire spring and summer split. Majority of the summer split though. I think they dropped 6 games out of like their most recent at least 40. I think it might have been more. So just like utter domination across the board. It was kind of crazy, but I definitely wanted Suning to win because of just the stories behind the players, and one of them being basically an orphan since he was 12 and living on his own in a house, kind of like a fucking anime backstory. I'm gonna have to bleep that out. Anyways, like an anime backstory. It just kind of crazy, and then also with Sword Art being just the player he is, just super amazing. I think Wyatt, you really like Sword Art.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of him.
Is there a reason, or
No, not really. I just watched all his games, and I don't watch LCK
Mhm.
like in their seasons, but I've always watched Worlds, and I've always liked him as a player.
Oh, so you've seen him like on other teams?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think he's been on Suning very long, right?
No.
But like
Was
I
he
think
on?
was he in Korea?
Didn't he play for the Flash Wolves?
Oh yeah, I think so. Or I think
Yeah.
that must have been him, right?
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, when Flash Wolves made their miracle run, right? They performed
Yeah, that's when
extremely
I
well
started to like
randomly.
him. Was when I was watching him play Flash Wolves, and they were the Korean killers or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean it's kind of crazy to think that that player who took his name from an anime, right? Sword Art Online.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And then also met up with his ADC because Sword Art's the support player for people who didn't know. He's the support player for Suning right now. Anime name takes up an anime pupil as an ADC, right? A fresh player who has like the anime backstory that every protagonist in any anime has, you know, like just fucking no parents, no life, and then comes from nothing to something type deal. Kind of crazy. But I mean that's mostly the reason I wanted Suning to win was for the sake of Huanfeng, which is the ADC for Suning. I thought it would have been really cool for them. But obviously still crazy that they made it to World Championships beating TES. The monsters that they were up until that point.
Yeah, I was super surprised by that.
Yeah, I believe those games were also 3-1. It wasn't 3-2, was it? Suning
Yeah,
just
it was
crushed
3-1 Suning.
TES. Kind of
Mhm.
crazy. But yeah, I mean, nobody expected Suning to make it that far, so like it's still kind of crazy that they did. But I definitely wanted Suning to win, and that's why I did 3-2 because I didn't think they would win easily. Obviously, like Domlin looked crazy, and they were crazy, and they deserve the win. So I guess I am proud of Domlin, but still sad that Suning didn't make it. Any other notes on that, or move on to the next topic?
I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah, you're fine. Okay.
I don't know. I favored G2. I don't know how G2 lost possibly in
To Domlin?
to Damwon. Honestly, I thought they had a superior team for a while,
They looked like
but
crap when they played against
they
them.
looked pretty bad. I mean, I kind of knew Damwon was gonna win, but I was just really rooting for G2 to win. Which
Yeah.
was a little
That was the
unfortunate for
opposite.
G2.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean, G2's and G2's supposed to like crush Korean teams, right? Like that was their status up until that point. Like,
yep.
Why were they
G2,
known for that?
it's because it's their playstyle.
oh, last season, yeah, both their playstyle and last
Okay.
season.
I mean, their playstyle is literally just forcing like fights and just constantly fighting. Where LCK was mostly focused on wanting to farm until later game and just go for a big fight.
Yeah,
So-
so they weren't really prepared to play early game as much, and G2's very like force you to fuck up really bad early game, and then like we're gonna win because we fucked up less type deal. And that's what it was last season, and I think every Korean team that they went against, they just completely dismantled, no matter how strong they looked. And that's why they were called the Korean Killers, because of what happened last Worlds, and I mean they crushed Genji as well. So looking into Damwon, it looked really bad, but I mean Damwon was arguably a tier above any other Korean team ever has been. Even SKT when they won 3 years in a row, the World Championships. Just based on how they performed in LCK this year. I don't know if you guys saw that at all, because I know that most of us, I mean, I didn't even watch LCK until after Worlds had started, but I was like, after rewatching the VODs, Damwon crushed everybody beneath them. Like the second seed from Korea is nowhere near as good as Dongwon right now. It's kind of absurd.
Who was the second seed?
Yeah.
Gen G? Were they second?
No, I think it was JD Gaming.
Oh, okay.
Not sure. Let me double check real quick. We can cut to this. Big brain. Oh no, it was DRX. Yeah. Dongwon, DRX, then Genji, and DRX was out of the competition super quick.
Yeah.
Because just anybody, I don't know. Dongwon was absurd this season, and yeah, I mean it is sucky looking at what happened to G2, especially for Western fans and people hoping that the Western region could do something like they did last year. But yeah, no. After seeing that match, I don't think in any world G2 beats Dongwon. I don't think it's that anybody didn't show up in that series. I don't think Caps underperformed that series. I don't think Yankos fucked it up, you know? It was just team diff, in my opinion. I don't know if you saw it any differently.
Yeah, I don't know. That one just, I don't know, or much different breed compared to LCK, the rest of LCK.
Yeah,
they
they're able
perform
that, like you talked about teams play styles, they're able to play both styles, right?
Yeah. I don't know, they're able to use both. Although I think G2 would try to perform better this season.
Yeah,
And
I think they were better this season than last season.
I mean, they try to adapt their play style, which is understandable. And I mean, I think they just needed more time to like adapt and try to actually adapt to the other play styles, but they just didn't have enough time. So I think if they were given a little bit more time, I think they would have actually won. But
like they would have been able to figure out Dongwon.
Yeah, but they weren't. I don't know. They weren't prepared for their play style. I'm pretty sure they were expecting like another LCK team to just do the same thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how well G2 would have even fared against Suning though, because Suning arguably put up a better fight against Dongwon than I saw G2 put up. Like Suning seemed to perform really well.
Did.
Yeah, like and that
they
second game,
won that third game.
Yeah, they could have won third game. They could have won fourth game, and they did win second game. So like, I think Suning definitely had more of a chance, arguably, 100%. and I don't think G2 would have won Worlds in any like alternate scenario either, because yeah, like Suning, holy moly, they pulled out some crazy stuff, man, with the full tank Rengar and just
Rengar,
Jesus, just crazy stuff.
To watch,
yeah, it was a fun series. But speaking of hope for the Western regions, Carlos, how do you feel about the Bjergsen retirement? I know that you're rather opinionated towards it.
I don't care. Honestly, team's been bad.
Didn't you feel a certain way like 2 weeks ago though that was like opposite of this opinion?
What?
Like NA's doomed. We no longer have even a decent player in our region, and similar stuff to that.
Look, you have to understand that NA from the beginning is just doomed. Okay, mindsets, overall, everything. It's just NA doomed. If an NA team gets to Worlds, I'd be surprised, and it'd be a miracle, honestly. I don't know.
You mean like makes it past group stages in Worlds, right? Because we did have 3 teams in Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, it doesn't matter because the way it's set up is you get 3 teams from each region, so you're bound to have.
I mean, we still outperform wildcard regions, even though they are getting better.
But it's just like the other regions aren't even that. There isn't a strong enough, support system in those regions, in those little.
In the wildcard regions, yeah. Oh, I see. So, like in comparison, we're doing really.
If anything, and the fact that the wildcard regions are able to almost equally perform to NA to a certain degree, and NA is given so much support, money, and just time overall, right, with our players and everything, that they're almost getting matched up with these other just random regions. It's kind of absurd, but I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I find it so weird that Bjergsen decided to retire before Doublelift. Doublelift is just.
Oh yeah, that's your opinion.
Basically peaking right now, but then he just decided, hey, let's just go coach, I guess, which is interesting. So, yeah.
Yeah, Bjergsen really did reach his peak this year, didn't he? Like overall play, I don't think he's ever performed better.
Yeah, and next year would have been another great year, but I
Hopefully,
guess
at
he just
least.
wants to. Well, there is no hope anymore. He
Well, I mean,
retired, so
it would have been hopefully. Like we never know. You can have players fall off in a season, right?
yeah. I don't know. I think he should have tried at least playing for the next season and see what would happen. But I guess he just really just did not want to play.
Well, did you guys watch the TSM video on him retiring?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
I know. I know. He said he wants to like help, right? He wanted. He really just wants to be like a coach. He wants to help people improve and stuff. But it's like he could have done it after the fact of like retiring, or after playing like every game. But I guess not.
Yeah.
I don't know. His decision. I don't really know.
Why? Do
I
you
mean,
What's
really
your
have?
guys?
Oh wait, Ethan, go
I was gonna say, what's your guys' opinion on double lift?
on double lift just in general.
Yeah,
I dislike double lift. I don't know.
Yeah, he's. I don't know.
I
what?
think he builds a lot of hype in the region, whether it be just through what he says on Twitter and stuff, or like what he says in person or in interviews. I think like what he provides to the region, content wise, is really
he has
it's really
character
good.
to him.
That's true.
Yeah, he has a lot of character. He is a character. He has his own like. I guess he's branded himself really well, and I think that that's probably a big selling point for him as a player, not necessarily like his skill anymore, or at least in comparison to players from other regions and stuff. But or even like tactical beating him and being a brand new talent and just outperforming him on his team, you know, and like I think tactical's on Liquid, right? So Liquid arguably in the hardest group after looking at the results of Worlds, right? Because Liquid was in a group with Suning and G2, right? Taking 2 games off of G2, and both of those teams made it to semifinals, Suning making it to finals. So, like, that group must have been incredibly hard, and Team Liquid got more wins in that group than TSM got in their group as first seed. So, like, uh, I I think that tactical being on that team and being an ADC that can perform at that high of a level on a world stage is kind of crazy. And thinking about how Doublelift is obviously getting paid a lot more and is preferred over that type of player is kind of strange. But I think that
I don't
it's
know.
oh
With double lift, I think you're just buying the name.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I was gonna
agree.
say
I
it's
agree.
all
Yeah,
about.
it's a brand.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that helps TSM too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with like
So
fan base and
and
stuff like
yeah,
that.
so that's probably why they keep him.
And I mean, that's a lot of talk about what maybe is making NA bad is that it's a very we have a very capitalistic view on sports and just in general towards sports like we always have. It's not just in esports, it's not just in League of Legends. There's stuff with like basketball, for example, like great names that have definitely fallen off, but their contracts are fucking massive. Like it's just kind of a result of the marketing benefits are definitely higher. So when you're not giving every player the same amount of money per season, it comes down to like, are you going to earn more money by having this player than are you going to earn more money by winning worlds, I guess.
Yeah, it's all about like the risk factor to it.
Yeah, and
This guy
I
might be better, but
and I
he's
don't know if
new.
there's a solution to that, but there's like problems like that all around
Mhm.
NA that aren't around in other regions because of situations like in China, I believe they're implementing wages that are going to be equal across all esports players. And then I believe in Korea, their only goal is to win worlds. They don't have goals outside of that. Like they market their players really well, regardless of if they have a personality, I guess. So like an average ADC from Korea is going to get marketed just as well as Doublelift would be from like in NA, I guess. And so I guess it's really a result of the way that NA works and the way that they brand their players and sell their players, I guess. And that affects
Yeah, it's like
what
it's
Carlos
almost
was
more.
saying.
It's like more based around like they don't want like success internationally, but
They
they
just
just
want
want the money
money.
from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have teams that try and do the
Greedy
opposite.
Americans.
You have teams that try and do the opposite though, because you have like Team Liquid right now with bringing in somebody off of their academy roster, which is something that teams have not been doing, even though it's supposed to be done and it's supposed to increase the quality of play and the highest level. But you have teams like Team Liquid who sell a player like Doublelift. I guess they probably got a lot of money for that sell, but at the same time, I don't think they're changing their roster in between now and next season, if I'm not incorrect. And I think that that's a move that they're doing so that they can become one of the best teams in the region and actually compete on an international stage rather than going for monetary gain. So, like we're moving in the right direction. I think it's just taking time, and there is a lot of issues. And I think that Carlos has a point with saying that Doublelift is like not a great player. I don't know why Bjergsen retired first. If Bjergsen's hitting his peak and Doublelift hasn't peaked in like 3 years or whatever, but yeah, I don't know.
It's literally the same thing as like CS:GO with Cloud9 and Shroud.
Yeah, but he's not. He's a esports personality now, right? He's not a player, is he?
No. But like when he was, his like character was just so big that Cloud9 had to keep him.
Well, then I would argue for Kenny S
and
as
they
well,
suffered.
right?
Oh yeah, Kenny S too.
But I don't know if
is
he still good, Carlos?
I have to disagree.
With Kenny S?
I feel like every player has their ups and downs. I feel like at some point Kenny S did fall down, right? But it's just part of the game. I don't know. At some point, one of the players will go down, and next season they'll do well.
Then why do you talk about Doublelift specifically then? If
Because Doublelift has been gone down for the past 4 years and just getting older. Okay, unfortunately, a lifespan on players and like overall esports is not that long. Once
it's
you
like
start
5
hitting
years or
past
something.
25, you just start. It's just downhill from there. It really is, honestly. And Doublelift is 27, getting older. It's just being outperformed by every other ADC, and at this
In the
point,
region, and our region isn't even good.
yeah, it's at this point. Sure, they could be keeping him for just like a
Monetary
name,
benefit, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like at this point, why not find a better ADC? I feel like a name itself doesn't. I feel like a name itself isn't as important. It just depends on how you market it. Right?
Yeah, like what I was talking about with Korea, how they market every player really well, regardless of personalities.
and look at Faker. Faker's a great player, but his personality is so shy. He's not really
he doesn't really have a great personality, does he?
Yeah, but he's really known, and he's like the face of League, just because he's just a great player. So if they used to do that with like any other role, right, and not have to worry about, maybe a player, it's Bjergsen, we have to take him onto the roster. He's just big money.
So seeking out like higher talent so that it's marketed well, because like obviously they'll become legends, you know.
Yeah.
And so like going for that type of search.
That's the risk factor too.
Yeah, and it might not be worth the money.
Mm-hmm.
I think
it's all about business. So
true, but I feel like at this point, if any NA team, right, gets to semis, they get out of groups, it'd be nuts. Actually nuts. Biggest name in NA.
Oh, and yeah, the team would just be crazy good. Like they'd be marketed the best. Everybody would be like, that's the hope of NA right there.
Yep. And when they're just focusing on deciding, hey, big names, big money here. I mean, they're literally over here flexing like their, what is it, like the Liquid or the 100 Thieves house and shit like that.
Just because they have a lot of money.
Yeah, or like the Liquid like training facility or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, all right, that's cool and all, but you have all this, but you're not producing anything worthwhile compared to every other region.
So then, do you agree with transfers, like from other regions, or do you just hate them?
I think transfers are cool and all, but it's kind of like evading the problem.
Well, then what about just having? Well, then like, because there's a difference, right, between like transferring old players from like regions like EU, right? So like we could be having Nemesis move over the pond, you know. Or there's a difference between like right now on C9, I believe they're getting, what's his name? Holy crap, Fudge. Yeah, C9 Fudge, and replacing him with Licorice. and Fudge is like an academy player from Australia, I believe. So like, there's a difference between like getting new talent from another region and like getting old talent from another region. And I'm just asking, like, do you agree with transfers at all, or do you think there is some good transfers where like you're importing new talent from another region?
Look, importing new talent from another region, perfectly fine. Okay, I think transfers are okay, but that's what's really hard. The problem is that the majority of you can only have like a maximum of 2 transfers on any team. Okay, and it takes up to like 4 years or something before they can actually become part of the region, right?
Mm-hmm.
So technically, yes, you could technically fill up a whole team with transfers and make them part of that region.
I guess,
All right,
yeah.
technically, but I mean, it's just like, is that really NA though? Like, you're basically just trying to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're not really focusing on the problem, which is your players from your region. You're basically saying, hey, every other region is able to outperform us, so what if we just take their players and we'll see if we can do something good here? But if they just focus on, hey, maybe we should help develop our players over here, give them the right mindset and everything else, then we'd be set. But I don't know. Transfers are okay. I don't think it's. I mean, good thing to have a restriction on it and stuff, but
Do you think it's a
I
good
don't know.
idea for like solving your problem of finding the next faker, quote unquote, like finding the next really good player to be able to sell them for like a really high price? I guess like their monetary gain is more important than their personality type deal.
What? Repeat it. What?
I was just asking, like, do you think it's then transfers from another region for like young talent is a good idea when it comes to solving the problem with like double lift, right? And him being very expensive as a player, and instead getting like a new player who's like just really good at the game, so he'll be able to be sold for more, like what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
okay.
mean, yeah. I don't
So
know.
then
I
transfers
think
are a good answer for like that situation or no? Because like
yes.
we need to find an answer for, because you're saying we want new talent because we don't want old talent to be recycled even though they're like bad but they're being sold for more. So
I think
you want new talent to be sold for more because like you want us to look for new talent because on the basis that maybe they become like the best ever.
yes. I think it's getting. I think the game is getting to the point where new talent is coming in. I think old players are getting too old, not outperforming. I think academy players will be eventually put in, or new players will be transferred in. And I think that's. I think I don't know. I don't think I stayed long enough to see a CS:GO go through that phase of just shedding the old and bringing in the new.
They did do
So
that though, didn't they?
I think they did. They brought in like Stewie 2K and stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
mean,
He's old now, right?
yeah, I mean, I didn't see full rosters change and stuff. So I wonder if that's what League will happen, where they'll shed the old people like Double Lift, Bjergsen,
And this only needs to
Baker and
happen in
stuff.
NA, right?
Yeah. I think the mindset in NA has changed a little bit better for the better over the past couple of years. So hopefully, whenever a big wave of just retirement comes through, we'll be able to see new talents and just see how they perform compared to everyone else. And maybe it isn't talents overall. Maybe it's just mindset or just something. Something needs to change at least. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think
But yeah.
that can be agreed upon by anybody from North
Yeah.
America when looking at the
Yeah.
state of LoL or League of Legends. But I wanted to mention, so Perks is, I believe, not going to be a Fnatic next year. Do you think it would be better for him to go to NA, or do you hope that he just retires and that NA doesn't take him in like just another recycled player?
Oh boy. Uh, Perks. I don't know. I think Perks only left G2 because he got shoved into ADC role. Honestly,
You think he's still good though, right?
I think he's really good still. There's
There's
probably
talk
a
about
high
him
chance
going to NA for mid, I believe.
probably for TSM. I don't know.
Think so?
Probably. I think that's the best choice for him. Bjergsen just retired. Perks got shoved into ADC role. I don't think he dislikes it, but I think he preferred mid overall.
And you
But
think
they
he's
have
still
Cap.
good?
Yeah, perfectly fine. I think he's really good.
Okay, so like you don't think he's going to be considered recycled talent as you were talking about earlier, like with double
No,
lift?
I think okay. Look, recycled talent for me is talent that's been around for more than like fucking like 6 years or something, or
Yeah, I
like
think
a
double
couple
lift was
years.
around since season 2, I believe.
Yep. Perks. I mean, he's been around for a little bit. He hasn't been on the main stage on a main like team for that long. He's been in probably since like 2019 or something, beginning of 2019. So I don't think he's recycled talent. I think it's
Okay.
perfectly fine.
And they did win a title during spring in EU with Perks playing mid, right?
Yep. So Perks is really good. He got shoved down into ADC because of caps. I don't know. I mean, Caps is just a better player, but Perks is also very nice. So,
Do you have any opinions on Perks moving to TSM? Would you like that?
I mean, it'd be fine, I guess. I just really don't like any of the G2 players.
Oh yeah, you don't like them at all, right? You think they're a little showboaty?
Yeah.
All of them? I think Mickey's fine, right?
Yeah.
Mickey's the one, right? He's very shy, I would say.
Yeah, the rest are super. I don't know. It's really troll.
Ethan, how do you
I
feel?
feel that. I get the same
Yeah, I don't
vibe.
know if they're doing it
Yeah.
for like entertainment. Or
Oh, okay.
It might be.
what?
It might be the same thing as they're just like looking for like that's who they are. That's their character.
Kind of like their entire
then they
team
make-
is double lift.
They make
Like-
money off that, and so they kind of
They're marketing
focus
themselves in
on
that,
it a little
in
bit
that
more.
way. Yeah. That might be the method, or like a method that Ocelot came up with, right? Because he runs G2, and I think that's the type of player he was. I'm not sure, but from what I can tell from like videos I've watched, that seems like the type of player that Ocelot was. Very like competitive and I will beat you and I'll be confident about it beforehand type deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean if it markets well, but I see that like you guys are definitely like it pushes you away from a team like that.
Yeah, like it's fine to a certain extent.
I kind of like it.
What didn't the coach say? Like sometimes he's just like go have fun or shit like that.
Yeah, he just
like
wants
they
it.
don't take certain games seriously.
Sometimes, yeah, that's what it seems like.
I think it's super unprofessional. In my
What
opinion.
is?
Just G2 being
Super cocky and
significantly better than other teams, and then taking games lightly because of that.
I think it's rather cool, honestly. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I just think that I don't know if you're able to talk shit and perform at the same time, I think it's perfectly fine. That's why I kind of dislike a fucking double lift because he'll talk
Because he
shit,
does the opposite.
but he just can't keep up. He actually just doesn't keep up. Like there's no, it's not like I'm watching an intense 1v1 in the bot lane or anything. It's just he just can't keep up. So it's just, I don't know. It's like a showmanship almost when G2 gets cocky and stuff, and they just take it casually.
yeah, but what do they have to show for it?
I mean,
Being 3-0'd at a Worlds final.
Shit, yo, chill.
No,
Well, I'm just saying, if you're looking
At
at
least
it
they
that
made
way,
it
their
to
greatest
Worlds.
thing.
I mean, but they
making it to the
did
finals
win
with the 3-0.
MSI, didn't they? They got first place.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, G2 literally made it 2 finals last year. Yeah, it was a little tragic this year that they got outdone by Dom 1, but I mean, they're able to keep up with what they're talking about. What can Double Lift do? Or just any other, I mean, I don't know, man. G2 is able to keep up with their trash talking. And yeah, it's fine.
To a certain extent, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's time before they reach their maximum potential.
Okay, Wyatt, I have a question for you then. All right. So if you don't want Perks on TSM, right, because of just the personality or the vibe he gives off, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather have Nemesis?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, I think Nemesis is a good player.
You
so-
do?
Yeah.
Despite all the hate that he gets online?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think he's terrible. I think
What kind
that
of hate does he get?
a lot. It's not healthy. But it's stuff like his champ pool isn't big enough. He can't keep up with the level of play that he's currently in. Stuff like that. It's actually really really bad. I feel really bad for the guy, but it also does show a little bit when he goes against a team like Top Esports in final, or I think it was quarterfinals, on Fnatic, and then performs really poorly just because his champion pool is like 3 champions. And I mean, I feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, I don't think that he'll be contributing much to NA if he moves over. So I'm not sure I want to see the move. But I mean, while I say that, I think he's actually peaking as a player. I think he's the best he's ever been. So I do think that if he works hard in the offseason, he can come back to NA and like dominate. But at like current level Nemesis is not something that I necessarily want to see in NA. I'd rather see like fresh talent, and I don't think I'd want to see Perks come over to NA either. I think that finding newer players would be really nice, especially for the league.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my personal opinion. So, have any of you guys been keeping up with C9 at all?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
So Licorice, right, was the
Licorice
former top
is-
laner for C9. He was considered the best top laner in NA, alright? Like, widely considered the best top laner in NA. And this man was dropped for fresh talent from Australia, which I don't know if any of you heard about that, but Australia is no longer a region. OCE is no longer a region in pro play. They've been dropped. It's pretty sad, actually. It's like if LCS just got dropped from.
You're not a thing anymore.
Yeah. So like they're not a region anymore. They don't have competitions. They won't, and like for the foreseeable future. So C9 actually copped some fresh kid off the block from one of the OCE
Yeah, so
teams.
NA's is going to be getting Australian kids now, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because I think they're considered domestic imports because they don't technically have another region to go to. If I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken, but as far as I know. And so yeah, there's like that whole situation. It's kind of crazy that they gave up somebody who's widely considered as the top player in their region. I mean, I think Licorice isn't like insanely better than any other top player in the region, but like they're clearly giving up the top player in the region for some new talent, and I just wasn't sure how you guys might feel about that, or if you think that taking that risk factor like Ethan was talking about earlier is really worth it, and you think it will be worth it for a team like C9.
I don't know.
It's tough.
Licorice? Yeah.
Is taking in like fresh talent actually worth it? Because it is like a huge risk, right? And then if you lose next season, it fell through and you just wasted a lot of money.
I would say you have to like pick really, really smart on like who you actually want on the team, and yeah, just because it's such a big like decision and everything, especially with your team and the players, because the players also have to have the like really good chemistry. So if they're opposites, it's not going to really work out.
Oh, like from another region, maybe if they didn't speak English or something.
Well, yeah, not only that, but
just like
different
they haven't
play
ever played together. That's a good point.
Yeah, different play styles, all that.
And so it's a risk, like, even if they are, like, if you see this budding talent and you're like, oh, he's, like, a really good player. He's brand new. We'll make him better by adding him to our team, and then, like, he just doesn't perform well on the team because the team doesn't like him that much or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you're talking about that risk. Yeah, that's a good
So,
point.
so you said Licorice got dropped, or did he leave?
I believe he got dropped. Like, C9, I don't think Licorice left of his own volition.
They booted him.
I believe C9 booted him and said, you can look for new teams, by the way. We have a replacement. So
So they just said, all right, later?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's a more formal way of doing it for teams, but yeah, as far as I know, Licorice did not leave on purpose. He didn't want, like, I mean, I'm sure he's fine with leaving, but he didn't intend to leave, and C9 got somebody else to replace him. All right. Here's the tweet. Here's the tweet. I'll read it to you real quick. Cloud9 told me last week that I won't be part of the team in 2021. I'm so proud I could help bring the trophy home for all the C9 fans while I was here. Changing teams is part of being a pro player, and I'm ready to compete with a new team next year. So there you
go. I guess it's fine. I don't know. Getting new talent is cool and all, but if I don't know. I think the only time new talent actually impacts the actual team is if top laner was the problem. And honestly, I'm not gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really kept up with C9.
Mm-hmm.
So unless Licorice was the actual problem to the whole team, or he just wasn't performing compared to everyone else, then there was like no need to bring him in. I mean, unless it's like
the new talent.
I mean, if they actually kicked Licorice, right? Like they actually kicked him off the team, and he just didn't just leave. Then I don't know, and it just sounds like an interesting thing to do, right? But I mean, if they took the opportunity to put Fudge in because he left, then perfectly fine. But if Licorice was the problem, then I think it just puts a new problem in the team, which is like having a new player, no synergy, new play style to adapt to, and stuff like that. So.
And so you don't think that bringing in new talent and getting rid of like older talent is a good idea if they're not a problem type deal?
Somewhat yes, but also when you do a new talent, I think that team needs to be like from academy almost.
So you would like to see academy teams actually being put to use, and like they're on the academy team for a year or something, like a minimum amount, and then like they've been playing with the pro players, and then they've been like, okay, you're good enough now, come here.
Yeah, because it's like the player that is leaving, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Fudge gets transferred to academy, right, for C9, right, and then Licorice literally just coaches him the whole time he's just there, right? He just helps him out the whole time. He's able to get a feel for everything, and then
I believe that's sorry to interject. I believe that's actually what happened. I may have left that out. I believe that's actually what happened with C9 Fudge.
Really?
Yeah, I believe he was on the C9 Academy team, and
then it's perfectly fine.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, because again.
Go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say because like this is also demonstrating another issue with like the capitalism of America and stuff like that, where they're actually like cultivating new talent, right? To lose their job. It's kind of like really sad if you look at it that way as well.
I don't think honestly, I think C9 did the right move with getting him to the academy team.
Mm-hmm.
If they got him into the academy team, that just makes it so Licorice is able to coach him. Mm-hmm. And if Licorice is losing his job, right, and he's whatever, but I think it's just better for the region overall.
If you cultivate like new talent from academy teams,
you kind of just have to cultivate talent. Like you have to realize at some point that you will not be the best player, right? At some point, someone will come overtake you. But if you're able to cultivate that new talent for yourself from you, then it's fine. Like it's honestly great, and it just gets rid of a lot of the problems that might occur if, let's say, he just joins in randomly from like OC and stuff. Like it helps him.
And you think that'll help like increase the level of play in the region?
Yes. If Licorice, I don't know. I mean, I guess yeah. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna lose my job here. But if you're gonna lose your job, might as well do something useful.
Yeah, like might as well improve the game while you're leaving.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're leaving, you're leaving. There's not really much you can do about it. You can't like complain and sit there and like be a little baby about I'm not gonna help anyone. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm
Even
done.
though that is what's happening in some teams. Yeah.
That's just the wrong mindset.
Yeah.
Like if I like your contract's ending at some point, right?
Yeah, you just need to be
I mean
grown up
that's
about it.
you have to be. I mean your contract's gonna be ending at some point. You have to acknowledge that. And just because your contract's ending in a couple months, you don't start just throwing games and stuff, right? Like you still perform as much as you can. You do as much as you can for the team, and then you go next team, right? Because you're not guaranteed a recontract after the contract ends. So
Yeah.
anyone else have a take?
No,
not really.
No, you guys don't have any opinions towards academy teams? Like, what? Do you not think that
I mean, it needs to be used more.
it does?
People use it 100%. Like, how many times have you heard like an academy player being boosted to the
Twice now.
main roster?
Twice, and they've
Yeah.
been around for like multiple years.
Yeah, like I don't know. It needs to be used more than it is. Because like
It's like
the
it's like
academy teams
collegiate
are
to
just sitting there.
it's just like basketball. You have the collegiate level, and then you have the NBA, and then like
I think
anyone
there's
that's
a
really
league
good
below
on
that as
college.
well.
And you got these
Is there?
collegiate teams. I'm not
Mhm.
collegiate. You got these academy teams just sitting there and like nothing happens for them.
And so it's like a
It
waste
just
of money
feels-
almost.
Yeah, it
And
feels
they're
really
like-
bad.
That makes sense. And so like you would like to see a little bit more structure in NA with like this is a clear path to get to becoming a pro player and like less I guess haziness when it comes to who's going to be on the team next year. Like you definitely see like okay, well if they're going to get a new mid laner, it's going to be this guy who's on their academy team type deal.
I think that would like honestly help NA a lot too. If like everyone knew a path and like how to become a pro player instead of it being hazy, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
it would be a lot easier for everyone to like kind of focus and be like, okay, I need to get on the whatever team, the team
And that
before,
might
like-
improve like amateur leagues too, is what you're saying?
yeah, and so like everyone might take it a little bit more seriously than before.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense actually. I think we've talked about a lot of stuff and a lot of esports. Specifically regarding the League of Legends. Did we want to talk about any of the COVID situation with COD at all, Wyatt? Or
Up to you guys.
well, I was just thinking.
I'm down to
that-
hear because I'm
Yeah.
kind of interested.
So, Wyatt, can you re-explain what you meant by the bubble and like them emulating
just-
what happened with the NBA?
Yeah, it's just the same as the NBA bubble. You can't leave like certain hotel or whatever they choose, and you just play. There's like 2 stadiums or whatever, and they'll play offline against each other
And it would be
instead of having
offline?
online.
Really?
Like
So it'd be like
LAN.
pre-recorded?
No,
or-
just
oh,
like,
you just mean,
it'll
like-
be recorded
okay.
like that, just LAN,
Okay,
which
And
is
so
how
do-
COD usually is.
Yeah.
when they get to
And-
these hotels, do they stay there for 2 weeks for
That's what they're
COVID before they
wondering right
play?
now.
Oh, okay.
It's weird, yeah.
And
'cause-
so they would stay in these hotels all season.
see, that's the thing. Some players want that,
Hmm.
and some players are really against it. Like, stay for like 2 weeks, do like a LAN tournament, and then go back home and continue online.
Mm-hmm. And so, like,
Or-
what's the reasoning for why? Like, because specifically, like, I'm talking about how in League of Legends last season during Summer Split in NA, it
Yeah.
really wasn't a big deal. Like, everybody played from their team houses.
Correct.
Like, I'm pretty sure LCS finals were played. LCS summer finals were played like from their team houses. Like, what's the huge deal with specifically Call of Duty, and why do they want
It's because
to
in
use the
Call of Duty,
stadiums?
not a lot of the teams like live with each other. A lot like League, you know, how like they have
Oh.
houses,
Okay.
and they're all like from around the United States, so they all have different internet, different.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's certain servers for COD.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be like a Midwest server, West server,
Yeah.
East server. And whatever the COD League chooses to play on, whatever server they choose to play on, it could have an up or downside for certain players from different states and shit like that.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. So it's a little bit underdeveloped, I guess, in comparison to like
Yeah.
the monetary side of League of Legends, where like they don't
Mhm.
all have like team houses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they still don't live on their own, and like they would typically fly out to each game.
Yeah, like a lot of teams are flying out to like
Mhm.
Texas just to have better internet for the tournaments and shit like that.
Oh,
Which
and
is
so they want to do the hotel thing so that it's like fair.
yeah. And I know
So
there's a lot of players against it, but
that's why everyone's moving to Texas.
yeah.
I was a little confused.
Yeah, they all want to play on Western servers. Holy shit. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense, and that clears up a couple of my questions with like, why are they doing that if League of Legends didn't do that? Because they're obviously not in team houses, and
Yeah.
you
It's like you'll have one player playing in New York, one in Chicago, one in LA.
yeah, and
And
Oh,
it's all
wow.
mixed up
affects
like that.
communication too, and like
Yeah.
mid series conversations and stuff like
And they
that.
also had big issues with like if someone disconnects. It's
Like you
like
just
if
have
you
to
were
like wait
over
3 hours.
no, they didn't even do that. If you were over a certain point in the game, they just give it to whoever was winning.
No way, that's just a forfeit because like
Yeah.
somebody had a natural disaster outside.
Uh-huh. Like one guy, like they're having a fucking hurricane in Texas and he disconnected.
Oh no!
He's like, my
And
bad,
it was
guys.
past like I think it was 150 points in hard point, and it goes up to
Bruh.
250. And they were losing, so they just lost that game. And
Which
then
And
is
they
some
so
played
stupid because
5v4.
the thing about COD is like it could instantly flip. Like games
Oh
could flip
yeah, it
around
could be
no matter
it's
what.
not
249 to
like
like
League where like
100, and
it's
you
not
can
like
come
League
back
where
the
like a
next
10k gold lead is over.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's COD flips around so fast.
Hmm.
You never know who's gonna win. It's always up
which
until
is
like the
trash.
last
And there was
score.
a lot of issues with that, which I really didn't like, and I don't think anybody did. It
That
was
does
super
really suck.
frustrating.
And so that's another reason why hotels are being suggested right now. I know that you said they're not
Yeah, and
guaranteed or
for like
anything.
the finals or whatever, they were like pre-recorded. So like if someone disconnected, they would just pause it and then resume the recording after or some shit like that, which
That's
was weird because like the
smart.
games we weren't watching weren't live, but they were at the same time because I don't know because like they'd have the player reactions after,
Oh, okay. That's weird.
which is yeah I don't know. It's like it wasn't live. They would record them like a day ahead or shit like that.
Hmm.
Weird.
Yeah, it was interesting.
So the COD League's in shambles right now.
Yeah,
Dude, no
it's
one like knows what to do with COVID.
yeah.
Everyone's just like there's so many like different opinions on it. Everyone's so like
Well, and
flustered.
it's crazy in America though, because like in England, it's very much just like okay, we're going into lockdown again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
America's more of
Yeah.
just like a
NA
hot
is
mess.
yeah, because you got the left and the right both believing different sides, and all that. So
Hmm. And during this recording, the election is not over, so
mm-hmm.
that too. But yeah, I think we touched on a lot of good points, and I think that pretty much wraps up the podcast. We will see you guys later. This has been Carlos, Wyatt, and Ethan, and we'll see you guys, or I will see you guys in the next podcast. I don't know if they'll be available or whatever, but thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next Business End podcast.